And cool. Let me see if we are live uh, with that.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, what are you available on? Oh, give me 1 second here. What phone is it on? Hold
Yeah. Oh, we are live. Cool. For which day?
on. Yeah, I'm gonna look right now. That way, well, you know what? I'll text you or I'll call you afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah.
That way we'll talk offline.
No worries.
Might need you to help me out with an interview at TV6.
Oh, TV6. Yes, I will be on TV6. I think coming up actually pretty soon. There's a few other folks coming online here. Yes. Are you interviewing with Lisa Hart?
No, I'm doing. So we're
Hey,
sponsoring. There you
Belinda.
are. I see you.
Uh-huh.
We're sponsoring a flu clinic at the Dorothy, or I'm sorry, at the Florence Sylvester.
Yes.
So they want me to go out to like have a quick little interview and promote the flu clinic, and
Yes.
then
Yes.
have a doctor speak on the importance of getting a flu shot. So
Right. Okay. Yes, yes. Yeah, I'll be in Channel 6 sometime pretty soon.
I want to say the spot they told me I think it was October 21st, but I'll verify that with you.
Okay.
Get back.
Okay. No worries. Good morning, Belinda.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. You're on live with us as well.
Great.
Yeah, we are chatting today on the 8 pillars of Alzheimer's risk reduction, and
Ooh.
and these are evidence-based um, recommendations that has been published in multiple journal articles and things of that sort. But these 8 pillars came out of the Cleveland Clinic. And if you guys are familiar with Cleveland Clinic, they are, I guess, pretty world popular for the research that comes out of there and the recommendations and things of that sort. And so we're going to chat about that today. Good morning, Cindy. Got folks coming online here with that. But it's, yeah, it's been a busy week overall. Kids are going back to school. Folks are trying to figure out social distancing with kids and not social distancing and how that works out. Jose, what's going on with your kids with school?
They're still at home.
Okay.
Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully, I think by mid-October, there's talks, but who knows?
Right, right.
I know Orange County opened up, so I know my nephews are back at school.
Good.
Well, hopefully we're next.
Yes. Good morning, Chris. Chris Kodama's on. And yeah. Anything new with Memorial Care, Jose? You want to tell us about flu clinics and all that stuff?
Yeah, so we're going to be doing drive-through flu clinics pretty much at all of our locations. Same thing with COVID testing. We're still offering that at various of our locations. Virtual urgent care visits because of COVID. Right. So that's something we're obviously expanding and promoting quite a bit. Another new venture with SpotRx. Now you can pick up your prescriptions at our locations. So far there's 12 locations offering this service. So it's a kiosk that has over 600 medications.
Wow.
If for some reason your medication is not in one of the kiosks, they'll do same day delivery at no extra cost. So that's a huge advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that's amazing. I am just surprised it hasn't been done years ago, because it just makes sense, right? That you have a vending machine that has 600 medications in it. I mean, imagine that, Belinda, right? You're in your doctor's office, you get the prescriptions you need, and in your doctor's office is a vending machine with all the meds. And so you pick up your meds right there as before you leave your doctor's office.
Yeah, Pretty cool.
You skip entirely the pharmacy.
Yeah,
and
I mean, it's actually very neat. You speak to a live pharmacist.
Yes.
Which they'll educate you if you need instructions on how to take the medication or anything like that. They'll walk you through it.
Virtually.
So virtually. So, and a lot of people are getting used to that now. So
right.
It's very exciting. So, let's see what else. We just added 7 new providers to our facilities in Long Beach, Costa Mesa, Huntington Beach, and our new office in Irvine, up Culver. There's a total of 9 providers there, so that's very exciting.
Okay, awesome. Just just keep expanding, huh?
Oh yeah.
Yes. Good morning, Betty, or Bet Bloom. Is Betty or Bet? I'm trying to figure it out. Cindy says, "What about pharmacy techs?" Well, Cindy, these meds are in these vending machines, and they're designed so that they have either a month supply or a 3-month supply, and they already come in bottles. And when it gets printed out, the patient's name is on the label already in these bottles, on these bottles. So it's quite amazing, and you still have access to a pharmacist. It's just that the pharmacist is now on a video chat with you, as opposed to in person. And so technology is quite amazing. So so the flu shots are drive-through now, huh?
Yeah. So our flu shot. I mean, it makes it easier, and we can obviously administer a lot more. But you can go to our website at memorialcare.org to get the times and
right.
I want to say it's going to be the first week of October that we're going to start. Doing this drive-through flu clinics, but you can also go on our website and get.
So what happens? Like if you're the driver driving in and you're the person getting the flu shot, I mean, your arm's right there and with the steering wheel, and they just like stab you while you drive away. It's like, ouch.
Make it easy.
Like, whoosh. like the military. It's like the military.
We'll chase you down.
Boom, boom, as you drive away.
We'll chase you down and give you a shot while you're still driving.
Right. Oh my gosh. What else can you do with drive-thrus now? I mean, can you check out your tonsils, say or whatever, right? Okay. All right, guys. Very cool. So real quick, I want to chat a little bit on the 8, right? The 8 factors, the 8 pillars of Alzheimer's risk reduction, and these 8 pillars we're going to go over one by one because they are evidence-based. We have data behind a lot of this, and the cool thing is that you don't have to take a single pill to be able to reduce your risk for Alzheimer's and to improve your brain health. Okay, you guys ready? Everyone has a pen and paper that I'll go over with you. And what's cool is last night I pre-recorded a lecture that is going live on a large conference, October 7 to 9, I think, called Leading Age California is the California organization that is putting on this conference, this live conference that is kind of pre-recorded live conference, which is kind of interesting. But again, we talked about in my lecture. I talked about what you do, how to interact, how to communicate, and how to use language and the right language when speaking to our loved ones with Alzheimer's or speaking to our patients with Alzheimer's, which is after the fact, right? The diagnosis has already been given. But in the 8 pillars of Alzheimer's risk reduction, I want to talk about what we can do to even prevent yourself from getting there in the first place. And and to minimize your risk for it. Now, obviously, if you have a diagnosis of Alzheimer's, these 8 pillars still apply, and they're still just as important, even with a diagnosis, because it's never too late to start living a healthy lifestyle. Okay, that is going to minimize your risk for Alzheimer's. Number one, pillar number one that's been shown over and over consistently is the importance of physical exercise. The importance of physical exercise. And there have been a number of studies that show that doing some type of physical activity, at least half an hour a day, right, at least 30 minutes a day, and these are activities that kind of gets your heart going a little bit, and get your blood flow a little bit up to the brain, right, to improve circulation to the brain, has been shown to reduce the risk of Alzheimer's. And that's been very consistent, guys, that even if you were somebody who walked on a regular basis, multiple days a week, throughout your life, right, there is benefit over those who don't walk. There is benefit over those who do not exercise. In one study that I've seen, there was a risk reduction of at least 30% of Alzheimer's, risk reduction of at least 30% in those who exercise versus those who don't. In another study I've seen where they track patients over a period of like, I think over about 40 years. These patients in Europe, they were all women. They were all women, and they started the study when these ladies were in their 40s. So 40 years ago, right? And now 40 years later, these ladies are like in their 80s, and they looked at who developed Alzheimer's in these large group of ladies, of women, and who did not have Alzheimer's, and they correlated to these patients to how much exercise they did over the last 40 years. And the group of ladies who did the most exercise compared to the group of ladies who did the minimum or the least amount of exercise, the difference in the diagnosis of Alzheimer's rate over a period of 40 years, if I recall right, the difference was an over 80% risk reduction of the diagnosis of Alzheimer's. If in this one study where they followed hundreds of women in Europe over a 40-year time span. Imagine that, guys, being able to reduce your risk by, from 30% to over 80%, depending on which study you look at. If I told you that I had a pill that can reduce your risk of Alzheimer's by 30%, right? How many of you guys would want to take that pill? Right? How many of you guys would be interested in taking a pill if I told you I had a pill that can reduce your risk of Alzheimer's by at least 30%? And when I go and I give these lectures and I ask that question to folks, most hands would go up. Just a 30% risk reduction of Alzheimer's, most people would be willing and interested in taking this pill. But you know what? You can do it without taking a pill. It's called exercise. And not very many of us have thought about that or considered that. That simply walking, right, on a regular basis or some type of exercise will give you that risk reduction without taking an extra pill. So very important to get the word out and on the need for us to do something physically active on a daily basis. And if you can't do 30 minutes a day, guys, it's okay. If do something for 15 minutes twice a day. As long as it adds up to half an hour a day, you get that benefit with that. Okay, so that is pillar number one of the 8 pillars. Right? Pillar number 2 of Alzheimer's risk reduction is brain stimulation or brain exercise. Brain exercise. What does that mean? That means doing any activity that stimulates your brain to think and exercise and stretch, right? For some people, it is basically, doing crossword puzzles. For others, it could be Sudoku. For others, it could be playing games like chess and checkers to make your brain kind of think. For others, it could mean taking a class or learning a new language, right? These are all activities that consistently stimulate our brains and our brain function. And it basically stimulates our brain cells to talk to one another and connect. And the more that your brain cells can talk to each other through these brain exercise activity, the better. Because as you know, we are fighting, especially those who have Alzheimer's plaque, those who have plaque that's building up, and the plaque blocks the communication between brain cells. And so doing brain exercises or brain stimulation activity, you're trying to bypass all those blocks, right, with the plaque. So the more your brain cells are activated, the better. Studies have shown, and this is very interesting, that those who have a higher level of education have a lower risk of Alzheimer's than those who have a lower level of education. And the question is, why is that, right? Why is having more education, lowering your risk for Alzheimer's? And so I think that has a lot to do with that brain stimulation over the years as you're going through school, right? As you're doing homework and listening to lectures and things of that sort. And so again, pillar number 2 is basically stimulating your brain with activities. Pillar number 3 is, believe it or not, getting enough sleep. Getting enough sleep. And so that's a pillar that kind of worries me and worries many of us who are super busy with all kinds of project and work and things of that sort, because we're I think I saw a study in America that Americans are like chronically sleep deprived, right? How much sleep do you get, Belinda or Jose or others who are on here, Margie, Naomi, Barbara? How much sleep do you guys get?
You get about 6-7 hours.
6-7 hours.
Sometimes.
Right, and so
mine's about 5 to 6. I know that's an area I need to improve in.
Yes. So it's an issue, right? Sleep does so much, and the sleep studies the studies that I've seen that's coming out with the association between the lack of sleep and brain health has been really significant with that. Betty gets 5 to 6 hours of sleep. Vicky, how much sleep do you get, Vicky? Now that you're, kicking back, retiring, things of that sort. Cindy Chen gets 5 to 6 hours of sleep. Yeah, right. This kind of confirms the fact that many of us Americans are chronically sleep deprived. I believe we need at least 7 hours with that. So here's what happens. Here's why sleep is so important. Sleep is when your brain gets to regenerate, right? Sleep is when your brain gets to basically relax. Sleep is when memory gets consolidated. The consolidation of memory during the day occurs at night when we're sleeping. So if we're not sleeping well, our memories are not being consolidated, right? Consolidated and into our memory hard drive. So that's when it occurs at night. And so we've all heard about the Alzheimer's plaque, right? The plaque that builds up uh, with bad lifestyle, bad diet, and things of that sort. So sleep is when Alzheimer's plaque gets removed the most. So there's a process of plaque production and a process of plaque removal. And they're both occurring at the same time, right? Plaque production, plaque removal, plaque production, plaque removal. And Alzheimer's occur when plaque production exceeds plaque removal, right? When the pace of plaque production exceeds the pace of plaque removal. And plaque removal occurs the most when we're sleeping. So important, right? Cindy says it's harder for seniors to get sleep. Do you guys take anything to help you sleep? For you guys who have problems with sleep, I'm curious, does anyone take anything? You can type it in the chat box or unmute yourself, or nobody takes anything for sleep here? Okay. I know that folks who often take stuff for sleep can take stuff naturally, like over-the-counter melatonin. That's been something that's been shown to be effective. The other thing that helps you sleep that's more natural is, oh, Barbara takes Remeron. Okay, all right, that's definitely a sleeping pill with that. Another over-the-counter natural product is valerian. Um, so that is something that's been given. Prescription pills. Oh, the other thing people take for sleep is Tylenol PM. It's not really the Tylenol that puts you to sleep. It's the PM part that puts you to sleep, and the PM is Benadryl. So really, you can actually just take Benadryl, and that would knock you out as well. Cindy says doTERRA products. What is a doTERRA product, Cindy? What is that? Um, Betty says no medications. Meditate and feel rested within 6 hours. Love it, love it. Meditation. Yes. I have never meditated before, guys. I need to learn how to meditate. It's like I probably have ADD. If I try to sit down and like go like this, I mean, my mind's gonna be like all over the place with 10 different projects, right? I've never tried to meditate. I really should, because I see the benefit of it and I've seen the research behind it. I just have never meditated before. Anyone here meditate? Margie says pray. Very cool. Margie, does prayer put you to sleep while talking to God? I'm just kidding. No, prayer is actually a very relaxing experience as well, where you kind of relieve all your you give God all your stressors, right, with prayer, and that can help you sleep as well. Barbara says a Calm app. Interesting. Calm app. What is the Calm app, Barbara? Is it like does it have music in it, or songs, or like rivers and rain? What is the Calm app with that? Oh, Barbara says all of that. Very cool. Cindy says, what is this thing that pops up here? Cindy says essential oil made up into pill form, such as lavender. Okay, all right, that's what it is. So essential oils, very cool. So essential oils is also something fairly relaxing as well. So guys, sleep, super important with that. Okay. Next on the list, besides sleep, is social interaction or socialization. Socialization is pillar number 4. Socialization. What does socialization mean to you? What is that? Does anyone know? Anyone know what socialization means to you? You can type it in the chat box or unmute yourself and give an answer. Does it mean going to a party, socializing, or does it mean just hanging out with others? And it's important we know what socialization actually means, because the research shows that those who socialize on a, Margie says conversation. Yes, yes, that's right, Margie. Just having conversations, right, with others is socializing. Going out for a meal, right? Well, now we go out for these social distancing meals with masks on and all that outdoors, right? Although I think in Orange County you can eat indoors now. It's just that up to a certain capacity in the restaurant. Uh, but socialization is very important, because when we're spending time with others, when we are spending time with friends, with loved ones, right? When we're spending time with folks in, let's say, in the same committee, the same club, uh, our brains is connecting. That's socializing. Socializing allow your brain cells to be stimulated, and it goes back to that brain connection. Did you know that studies show that those who socialize and spend time with others on a regular basis have a lower risk of Alzheimer's than those who do not socialize? Those so those who are out spending time with others, who are connected with others, have a lower risk of Alzheimer's than those who are home alone all day and do not contact or connect with others. So that is such an important thing, guys, to be able to socialize and to connect. Um, and uh, and so if you want to lower your risk for Alzheimer's, connect with others, right? Join a club, join a, I don't know, uh, and socializing. One of the tips I give to a lot of our patients on how to socialize is simply to make appointments with friends and family to spend time with them. Whether it is a telephone chat appointment or an in-person get-together to have a meal, or just make these appointments where you're connecting with people all the time. Super important with that. Hey, good morning, Sarah. Sarah just joined us on Facebook here. So, so socializing. Okay, that's pillar number 4, I believe. Right? I forgot already because my memory is so bad. So number 5 is getting your other medical conditions under control. Getting your other medical conditions under control. We know that there is actually an association between Alzheimer's and high blood pressure. Uh, of 10 patients with Alzheimer's, if I took 10 patients with Alzheimer's, 8 of those 10 will have high blood pressure. We know there's an association between Alzheimer's and diabetes. If I took 10 patients with Alzheimer's, 4 of them will have diabetes. If I took 10 patients with Alzheimer's, 3 of them will have heart disease. If I took 10 patients with Alzheimer's, many of them will have high cholesterol. So do you see the connection here between Alzheimer's and all these other, health conditions? What that means, guys, is that if you want to reduce your risk for Alzheimer's, then simply reduce your risk for the other health conditions. Get your blood pressure under control, get your blood sugar under control, right? Get your cholesterol under control. Exercise on a regular basis, right? Did you know that Alzheimer's and heart disease share the same risk factors? It's interesting, right? Why two completely different conditions will share the same risk factors, but they do. And it's probably because of circulation, right? When you have poor circulation to your heart, you also have poor circulation to your brain. And as a result of that, right, um, they share the same risk factors with that. So if you want to lower your risk, guys, for Alzheimer's, just lower your risk for heart disease. Okay, so that is pillar number 5 out of 8. Pillar number 6 is nutrition, diet. Okay, Did you know there is a diet that lowers the risk for Alzheimer's? Right? Did you know that there is a diet that lowers the risk for Alzheimer's? It is called the MIND diet, MIND. And this MIND diet, guys, is the combination of two different diets, actually. It combines the Mediterranean diet with the DASH diet. The Mediterranean diet, many of us have heard before, and it's like fruits and nuts and things of that sort. And the DASH diet is a heart healthy diet, guys. So the combination of both of these diets put together is called the MIND diet. Good morning, Maddie. Uh, and so Cindy says yes. How many of you guys are actually on this diet? Anyone on the Mediterranean diet? I'm uh I'm on the seafood diet, guys. So anytime I see food, I eat it. So it's been the diet I've been on for a long time, and I'm not sure if it's working or not, but it's called a seafood diet, right? And if you Google the Mind diet, you're gonna see exactly what's in that diet. There's 10 things that's in that diet that I can go over with you on. But what's cool about this Mind diet is that this diet has been published multiple times in medical journals, and it shows that those who are on the diet lowers their risk for Alzheimer's. As a matter of fact, in one published article with the Mind diet, they took two groups of people, right? Two groups of patients, and what happens is that one group of patient was on the Mind diet, and the other group of patient was on the American diet, right? The typical American diet. And they followed both groups of patients, and what happens is that over a number of years, right? Over a number of years, they have noticed that the group that was on the Mind diet had a lower risk of Alzheimer's than the group that was on the American diet. They counted the number of patients in both groups who developed Alzheimer's. In one study, the group that was in the Mind diet lowered their risk for Alzheimer's by 54%. They cut their risk in half, guys, from being on this diet. I mean, imagine being able to cut your risk of Alzheimer's in half, right? It's incredible that diet can get you these results with that. So that is pillar number 4. No, wait, that's pillar number. What pillar are we on? Number 6. I'm so glad you're here, Belinda, because as you can tell, my memory is not good. As a memory doctor, I can't remember half the stuff I'm talking about, right? And so, pillar number 7. Pillar number 7 out of 8. And Maddie says, please share info on early onset Alzheimer's. Yes, we can chat a little bit about that as well, Maddie. Okay. Pillar number 7 is stress reduction. Stress reduction. It's interesting because not many people connect mental and emotional stress or mental health issues, right? Emotional health issues to physical health. Not many people can make that connection between how you feel, the stress that you have, or the depression that you have, and how that can affect you physically. But quite frankly, the brain and the body is very well connected. And we have seen problems with stress, with depression, with anxiety linked to many physical problems that includes problems with Alzheimer's, that includes problems with lowering your immune system simply due to mental health issues. That includes stress. There's been a number of studies showing that stress can actually lower your immune system, guys. I don't know if you ever noticed that when you're super, super stressed out, how many of you guys have been super stressed out and then you develop what's called canker sores? Or what's the other word for it? Like cold sores, right? Cold sores are simply from a herpes virus that develops, and and it's and the virus sneaks its head out when the immune system is low. And the immune system is low because you're super stressed or you're super depressed or whatever that is, right? And so that's the connection, guys. I mean, if you get super stressed, some of us, will get these cold sores when you don't get enough sleep and your body's stressed. Right? Some of us tend to get colds and flus or infections much easier. So the connection between stress, immune system, Alzheimer's, they are all connected, which is why it's super, super important, guys, that stress reduction is a factor that needs to be addressed for those of us who live on stress all the time. How many guys live on stress all the time? You run from like stressful projects to stressful projects to stressful projects to issue after issue after issue, right? Just remember, we need to address that. We can't blow off stress because it does affect your immune system. It does affect brain health as well, including Alzheimer's, which is why it is a pillar, right? With that. So that is pillar number 7. Was that pillar number 7, Belinda? Oh, good. All right. Pillar number 8. Pillar number 8 of Alzheimer's risk reduction, guys. Maddie says type A. Yeah. Yeah, type A tends to be more stressful than other types, guys. Cindy says life is stressful. Yes, yes. What do you guys do for stress reduction, by the way? What do you guys do for stress reduction? Type out what you do when you're trying to reduce stress. Do you guys exercise? Do you meditate? What do you guys do? Do you do yoga? Do you take a pill for stress reduction? I'm curious. Um, I know a lot of folks do different things for stress reduction. All right, Belinda goes walking, go to the ocean. Very cool. That's definitely stress reducing to go to the beach. Yes, yes. Anyone else do anything different?
Fishing, walking, golfing. Well, sometimes.
Got it, got it.
Sometimes
Yes,
more stressful,
yes. It's more stressful. You don't catch any fish when you're fishing.
right? Or hit the ball straight.
Jose, is that why I see you fishing all the time on Facebook? It's
I'm
like
trying.
stress reduction.
Oh yeah.
every time I see Jose on Facebook, he's fishing. He's catching a fish somewhere.
All that stress.
I'm gonna have to go fishing with you sometimes, Jose.
Oh, let's do it. Yeah, definitely.
I would
I'd
love to
for you
go
to come out.
fishing. I've never had any luck with fishing though. It's like every time I try to fish, I catch nothing.
Oh,
I every time consistently. It's like Jesus condemning me. Because you know how Jesus says, cast your net on the other side and, on the other side of the boat, and then they caught everything? Every time I go fishing, I caught nothing. Every time.
oh,
It's like being condemned by God. It's like, whether I cast on the left or the right, nothing happens.
nothing. Oh, I gotta
I'm
take
waiting for
you.
him to tell me to cast one way or the other. It's, you know, yes.
We'll
Maddie
definitely
goes,
go out.
that's right. Maddie goes hiking. Cindy goes work out and eat. Okay. A lot of people stress eat, right? A lot of people stress eat with that. Good morning, Barbara. How are you? And so, yes, what do I do with? I guess I go hiking a lot for stress reduction. So, so good. I'm glad you guys have some outlet for stress reduction, whether it's something physical, or hiking, or even eating for Cindy, right? As long as you're eating the right things, I'm not too concerned. um, Number 8, the last pillar of brain health, believe it or not, is clinical trials. Clinical trials. Why is clinical research in Alzheimer's a pillar in brain health, or a pillar for Alzheimer's risk reduction? Does anyone know? Does anyone know why the Cleveland Clinic puts down clinical trials in Alzheimer's as a pillar? Are they like trying to sell clinical trials or promote it, right? Or why does the Cleveland Clinic have clinical trials as a pillar? Does anyone know?
There has to be research done in knowing what, they have to study people and the brain in order to be able to figure out how to reduce the risk.
Yes, 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 absolutely. Because in clinical trials is the only location, in clinical trials is the only place that you can go to try to participate in a clinical trial where they are removing the plaque from the brain. Nowhere else outside of clinical trial is there any medication that exists, right, to remove plaque from the brain. In clinical trials is where we are evaluating medications for plaque removal. That is why clinical trials is a pillar for brain health, right? And Betty says hope. Yes, yes, 100%, Betty. Clinical trials is a place of hope. It is a place of hope to remove plaque from the brain. And you know what's hopeful? One of the medication that you may have heard in the news a lot, it's called aducanumab. Aducanumab, and if you were to look up that medication, if you did a Google search, right? And I'm gonna type it out for you here. Aducanumab. This medication, right? I'm gonna type it out for you guys. Aducanumab. This medication, guys, if you did a Google search of aducanumab and the FDA, you're going to realize that this is sitting on the lap of the FDA right now, right? This medication is sitting on the lap of the FDA, uh, awaiting the FDA's decision and evaluation for approval. For approval next year sometime, right? I think it's end of March is when the FDA is going to make a decision. Now, we don't know if the FDA is going to approve this medication or not, right? We don't know if this is a medication that will be approved or not by the FDA. But the fact that the FDA accepted aducanumab's application for approval and have pushed it to some type of priority review, right, which is kind of like a fast review, a priority review, means that there's hope for approval for this medication. Good morning, Michelle. And if this medication gets approved, next year, guys, this will be the first medication in the world to be approved to remove Alzheimer's plaque in your brain. The first medication in the world. This will be the first medication that will change the course of Alzheimer's disease. Imagine the impact of that. How many of us, right, have known somebody with Alzheimer's disease? Right? How many of us have watched a loved one or a patient pass away from this horrible disease? If aducanumab gets approved next year, this will be the first medication in the world to remove Alzheimer's plaque from the brain. And I'm very excited about it, guys. I don't know if it's going to be approved or not. I mean, there's a good possibility that it may not get approved, right? There's a good possibility that the FDA may say, do some more studies or look into this or, or we're not approving it. I mean, that's a possibility, right? But there's a possibility also that the FDA says, we looked at the data. We looked at your phase 1 data, phase 2 data, phase 3 data, and it looks good and we'll approve it. This is going to be exciting, guys. This is going to be, life-changing for many of us and for patients who are going through with this diagnosis at this point. If you guys are interested in chatting about that, I do, completely free, no-cost video chats, as many of you guys already know. You can just email me with that, and I can definitely talk to you more about. I'll put my email on here for you guys. It's just my name. And if you're interested in chatting about that and about the potential of these medications and about clinical trials in general, right? Simply shoot me an email and we can chat some more about these clinical trials opportunities. But this is the number 8 pillar of brain health because again, clinical trials is where hope is at to do something with this I was going to say pandemic, but really it is a pandemic in healthcare, Alzheimer's disease, not the virus itself. But I'm going to put my email in the Facebook chat group with you guys as well. Good morning, Letty. So guys, those are the 8 pillars of brain health. Those are the 8 pillars of Alzheimer's risk reduction that has been shown through research to improve your brain health and to minimize your risk for Alzheimer's. So real quick, number 1, physical exercise, at least half an hour a day. Number 2, brain exercise, right? Doing activities that will make your brain, stimulated and think and stretch, right? Stretch those brain cells. Number 3, getting enough sleep, at least 7 hours a day, because sleep is when the plaque is being removed. Sleep is when your brain is being refreshed and restored, right? Number 4, socialization, right? Socializing with others, having meals with friends and family, or socializing through Zoom during this pandemic. Super important to be able to socialize and reduce your risk. Those who socialize on a regular basis have a lower risk of Alzheimer's than those who are home alone, not socializing. Number 5, getting your other medical conditions under control. That includes 7 hours of sleep, Margie, is what we normally recommend, right? Getting your other medical conditions under control, super important. Getting your blood pressure in control, your cholesterol, your sugar, all those different things, right, associated with Alzheimer's. Number 6 is nutrition, the MIND diet, guys. Google the MIND diet. Do a Google search, MIND. And the MIND diet has been shown consistently in clinical studies to lower your risk for Alzheimer's. It is basically the Mediterranean diet combined with a DASH diet, right? Number 7, stress reduction. Reducing stress, super important. We have seen how stress can lower your immune system, and at the same time, stress increases cortisol level. Stress increases inflammation. Inflammation messes up with brain health, including Alzheimer's. And then lastly, guys, number 8, clinical research. Clinical research. If you're interested in more information about clinical research, it's basically what I do, right? Or at least the organization that I'm with is affiliated with Alzheimer's clinical research. You can just email me. I've already posted my email for you guys if that's an interest of yours to get some more information on that. And we'll give you some free memory testing, and none of the stuff I do costs any money to chat with me and to do memory testing and things of that sort. All right, guys. I hope it was helpful for you guys today. The 8 pillars, is that right, Jose?
That's right, 8 pillars, yeah. How to stay sharp.
Yes, how to stay sharp. Good morning, Eugenia. All right, guys. Any other thoughts or questions? I hope this was educational. Belinda, any other thoughts on all this?
Somebody had a question earlier. You said that you would circle back there.
Oh, yes, I almost forgot. My memory is so bad. The question was to talk about early onset Alzheimer's. That's right. Uh, Maddie. Oh, Margie says bathroom breaks at night breaks your sleep. Margie, if you are like myself or most of us here, we get up at night sometimes to go pee and go back to bed. If you go back to bed and you fall back asleep within a few minutes, that's okay, Margie. Not a problem. I'm not concerned with that. I'm mainly concerned if you go back to bed and you stay up for like an hour. That's a problem, right? So hope that answers your question, Margie. So real quick, guys. Early onset dementia, Alzheimer's. That is Alzheimer's in those who are in their 40s and in their early 50s. Is what we normally see. I have seen a number of patients who with moderate to advanced Alzheimer's in their 50s. The one thing you should know about early onset Alzheimer's is that most of the time, in general, uh, genetics play a major role in early onset Alzheimer's. If you have the what we call the APOE4 gene, right, the APOE4 gene, which is one of the gene for Alzheimer's, if you have two copies of that, you can have either one copy or two copies, or you can have zero copies. If you have zero copies of this gene, your risk of Alzheimer's is lower. If you have one copy of the gene, the risk of Alzheimer's is higher. It's up to about 25%. If you have two copies of the gene, meaning if you're homozygous compared to heterozygous and all these medical terms, right? If you're homozygous, which means you have two copies of the Alzheimer's gene, one passed down from mom, one passed down from dad, and you got both copies, your risk of Alzheimer's is over 50%, and you are the typical patient that is at a higher risk for early onset Alzheimer's when you're young. I hope that that helps Maddie with to shed some light on that. Those who have early onset Alzheimer's, they produce a lot more Alzheimer's plaque than those who don't have early onset Alzheimer's, right? Their genetics, their gene is just turning on the Alzheimer's plaque machine. It just keeps making it, and unfortunately, as a result of that, um, we see early onset Alzheimer's with that. All right, Belinda, thanks so much for reminding me. See, I forgot again.
No problem.
You got to be here every Wednesday or Thursday to remind me of what I'm forgetting. Sometimes I show up and I don't remember what lecture I'm giving that day, and then I ask the audience, "What am I talking about today?" And then they remind me, and then we start talking with that. It makes for an exciting lecture when you don't know what you're talking about until you get there. It happens all the time, every week actually.
Thanks, Dr. Trinh. It was really great.
Great. All right, Jose, are we on next Tuesday?
I was looking at my calendar. I don't think we have anything for next month. Is already October. Can't believe that.
I know it goes by really fast, right?
It's way too fast. I mean, we'll chit chat after this, and then maybe we can get another list going.
Yeah, we'll get another list going. Yeah, we got so busy we forgot to schedule stuff for next week, for the month of October. So this is how organized we are here.
Right.
But
stress.
Whatever.
I was stressed. I couldn't remember.
Yeah, exactly. We blame it on stress and memory loss. So, all right, guys. God bless and take care. Okay.
Thank you so much, Dr. Trinh.
All right.
Have a great day.
Thanks, Dr. Trinh.
See you guys later. Bye bye now.